The bottom still looking for their first point, and in Motherwell's case their first goal. Jason DeVos led out a United side not only under new management but seeking their first league win at Tannadice since before last Christmas. Rob McLean is our match commentator.
This is the first Dundee United team picked by interim manager Alex Smith that shows 4 changes from the side beaten 3-0 by Hibs last Saturday. Partridge, Easton, Vanitas and Heaney drop out of the starting lineup. David McCracken returns in central defence, David Hanna's back in midfield, and Alex Mathie is restored to the front line alongside Stephen Thompson. In for his first appearance in Tangerine is Senegal-born Joaquim Fernandez. His CV looks good with mentions for Bordeaux, Udinese and AC Milan. John Spencer has a fair old pedigree as well. His old clubs include Rangers, Chelsea and Everton, and he's ready for his first match of the season after a 2-game suspension. His return to the team is the good news for Motherwell. The bad news is that defender Benito Kemble is out injured and John Davis is banned after last weekend's sending off at Celtic Park. Into this Motherwell formation comes Frenchman Ange Wefiu and Derek Townsley. Teenager Stephen Hamill looks a good prospect on the left side, and Spencer will enjoy linking up again with Lee McCulloch. The referee for Dundee United against Motherwell is Willie Young. And enter Alex Smith, working alongside Maurice Malpass, who's just behind him. The two, of course, combined for the Scotland under-21 side, so not unaware of each other's management ways. The game underway. Dundee United get it started. Both these teams looking for their first Premier point of the season. Dundee United losing on the opening weekend to Celtic, and then a heavy defeat last weekend at Easter Road, which was the final straw for Paul Sturrock. So life after Sturrock begins here. Jason DeVos with a long-angled ball. Stretching out was Jim Patterson. Right on the byline, got a good ball in as well. Good start for Dundee United, and it was Stephen Thompson on the end of the ball in from Patterson. Did well to squeeze this through. Thompson might have done better, although the angle was tight. Here's Paul Harvey. Did a quick impact last weekend at Celtic Park. Spencer opening up for a shot. Instead opts for the chip. It was a good one too because it picked out the head of Lee McCulloch. He couldn't steer it down, but he applauds the intention from Spencer here, who set him up well. Corrigan and Townsley combine. Derek Townsley losing out. Fernandez, DeVos, given away by Al Joffrey. Paul Harvey's pass is good for Townsley. Time to measure this. Touched away at the far post by John McQuillan. An old head comes in handy sometimes after this mistake by Hasni Al Joffrey. And it was Derek Townsley who played the ball across. All it needed was a touch. A lot of attention focused at the moment on the Dundee United chairman, Jim McLean. Another change of manager. Will it mean a change of fortunes for the Tannadice team? Alex Mathie holds it up well. The pass in field came off Jamie Buchan. Brannan's pass for John Spencer. What a comeback! First match of the season. 11 minutes gone for John Spencer, and that's the breakthrough for Billy Davis and Motherwell. Good run. You saw John Spencer setting off there, picked out by Jed Brannan, not picked up by the Dundee United central defence. And a lot of teams have paid in the past for failing to give John Spencer due attention. He tends to punish on those sort of occasions. Spencer 11 goals last season, and that's #1 of the new campaign. So already something to think about for Alex Smith. His team one down on home ground. Andy Gorham's kick. Missed by Lee McCulloch, but Willie Young reckons there was a good reason for that. He was being fouled at the time. Free kick goes against John McQuillan. Strong and Wakefield both up. John Spencer's made another good run. Touched over the top by Alan Combe, as Spencer tried to knock that across goal for Lee McCulloch. Again, so sharp and so inventive, Spencer, making all sorts of good runs in this first half and pulling the Dundee United defence all over the place. McMillan's header away. Good pass from McMillan to Harvey. McMillan again, trying to get on the end of it. He has now. Paul Harvey. Jason DeVos away. That was Patterson's header. David Hanna stretching out. And now Lee McCulloch. To Jed Brannan. He can strike them. Juggled but held by Alan Combe. Useful hit from Brannan. John Spencer working hard to get back in front of McQuillan. That was a long sprint. Corrigan for Tansley. Got that away to Lee McCulloch and now gets it back. Martin Corrigan coming in support, but it's Tansley. A diving header away from DeVos. And the former Queen of the South man has another chance to get the ball in. Paul Harvey got the break of the ball off Fernandez. It's John Spencer again. A good challenge by Jamie Buchan. Spencer saw the opportunity opening up here for goal number 2. And credit to a swift challenge from the former Aberdeen player, Buchan. Patterson chased by Townsley. Advantage being played after the Dundee United man is bundled over. Buchan. Stephen Thompson for Alex Matthew. The best chance of the match so far for Dundee United. This was good play from Thompson, trying to set up his strike partner. It would have been spectacular had it hit the net. And the way things are going for Dundee United, as Jim McLean well knows, at the moment they're not hitting the net. Spencer from McMillan. Good first touch. Steve McMillan. Lee McCulloch. Well, Derek Townsley was alongside him had he chosen to square the ball. Instead, he took it first time for the shot at goal. Entitled to with his recent scoring record, but not one of his better efforts from Lee McCulloch. An easy save. Paul Harvey again. Good touch to find himself some room. But the final ball cut out by Al Joffrey. And the first half is over. His chin not as clean-shaven as it used to be, but some things never change, and John Spencer still knows how to score goals. His, the only one of the first half, long ball through the middle from Jed Brannan. A big hole in the middle of the Dundee United defence, and John Spencer's your man to take advantage of that sort of situation. That was Motherwell 1-0 up. Dundee United suffering from a lack of confidence. That is plain to see. This is the best they could conjure up in the first 45 minutes. Spectacularly over the top from Alex Matthew after he was set up by Stephen Thompson. Not too much has gone right for Dundee United in the first half. This was another chance for Motherwell to extend their lead, but Lee McCulloch shot hurriedly. And at half-time at Tannadice, it's Motherwell who are ahead by 1-0. Into the second half, Motherwell making a habit of playing teams under new management. 3 out of 3 now for them at the start of the new season. losing firstly to Ivano Bonetti's Dundee, Martin O'Neill's Celtic, but they have a 1-goal advantage against a Dundee United side currently under the control of Alex Smith. Corrigan to Townsley. Some room for Paul Harvey. A fierce shot touched away by Alan Combe, who looks mystified at the lack of resistance in front of him, because this all looked so easy for Motherwell as they picked their way through, and it was all up to the keeper. John McQuillan. Whitfield. Jamie Buchan trying to get that into the box. Corrigan trying to get it away. Won't quite come down for Jim Patterson. And good defending from Martin Corrigan. Here's Maffey. The left foot of Patterson. Again, very difficult for him to get past Corrigan. As Neil Joffrey winding up for the throw. Away by Strong. Further clear off Harvey. And now John Spencer.
Get up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
Across beyond McCullough. Leaves it to Brannan. The support from Hamill. Good looking cross. They just had too much ground to make up with John Spencer to get on the end of the Hamill cross, but it was curling invitingly away from Alan Combe. Harvey to Townsley. McCullough trying to rescue the situation. That was Hannah. Harvey succeeds only in setting that up for Jim Patterson. For Stephen Thompson. That was better from Dundee United. Forceful play from Patterson. Started out wide cut-in, forced it through, and Stephen Thompson shot just a couple of feet too high. A little bit more encouraging for the Dundee United supporters, and they need some encouragement. Corrigan's throw found its way through to Spencer. That was Goodman. John Spencer again. Now Lee McCullough. Didn't catch the shot. Well set up. This was a chance for Motherwell to make the point safe. But it was a poor one from the man who was top scorer for the club last season. McQuillan. Dancing away from McCullough. Now Patterson evades the challenge from Brannan. Stephen Thompson has it. McConaughey, Easton, Patterson, all waiting in the middle. And McQuillan. Reach with the header. And hooked away by Brannan. In from DeVos. McConaughey! That's a good effort. Touched over the top by Andy Gorham. Just 19, McConaughey. Paul Sturrock, very hopeful that he's going to turn into a real player. And he knew exactly where the goals were there. Neil Heaney with the corner kick. Cleared by Don Goodman. Spencer holding the ball up and waiting for the run of McMillan. Seven and a half minutes plus some stoppage time for Alex Smith and his team to try and salvage something out of this. Willie Davis hoping his team can cling on to their first Premier points of the season. Goodly off from Stephen Thompson, in from Neil Heaney. And there's the equaliser. It's Jim Patterson from what looked like an almost impossible angle. And Dundee United, with just 4 minutes left, look as if they've salvaged a point. Good build-up. It was Heaney's cross. Jim Patterson, only he will be able to answer the question, were you really trying to score from here? Back across it went, it looked over the head of Andy Gorham, and he looked back in agony. There would have been a smile on the face though of Alex Smith as that ball just landed in the far corner of the net. Leach to Brannan, and now Corrigan. Giving McCracken's clearance. McCulloch chests it down for Goodman. Stopped by DeVos. Refuse header. And gets it back from Corrigan. United have it with Neil Heaney. McQuillan. Thompson made that his. Jim Patterson. Still Patterson. Good shot. And a good save by Andy Gorham. United have left their best till last. And Jim Patterson, who scored the equaliser, now chasing the winner. Lee McCulloch, good shots. Turned away by Alan Combe, back from McMillan. Spencer almost onto it, good challenge by Jason DeVos. And now the game swings towards the other end. Stephen Thompson, fouled by Greg Strong. Jimmy Buchan, the target. Stephen McConnell got his head to it. The effort flashed wide. But there's been more in the last 5 or 10 minutes to encourage Alex Smith than in all that preceded it. Lee McCulloch didn't really have much to aim at here, but it was a great turn and shot, and it looked as if it was creeping in at the corner before Combe scrambled across. Another Motherwell attack with McMillan. Stretching out with DeVos. Down for Scott Leach. It spins behind. Motherwell corner. Nearly 3 minutes added on already. And Motherwell fans who thought they were on the way to 3 points now appreciating they might have to settle for 1. Back in from Hamill. Lee McCulloch onside. Failing to hit the target in a crucial situation. And look at John Spencer's position there as well. If McCulloch had been able to turn that across goal, it might well have popped up for Spencer. As it was, Combe not even forced into a save, and Lee McCulloch's left scratching his head. I make it just about 30 seconds left now. We've played 3.5 minutes of stoppage time. Lee McCulloch did well to keep that in. Corrigan forward, gets the break of the ball. Still Martin Corrigan. Not a bad effort. He scored his first Motherwell goal at the tail end of last season. Not afraid to pick his way forward. Not the worst effort at goal you've ever seen. That is the last flurry of action in this match, in which both Dundee United and Motherwell pick up their first Premier points of the season. The Tannadice team rescued by Jim Patterson's far post header with 4 minutes of time to go. A looping header over Andy Gorham, which thankfully for him nestled in the far corner after John Spencer had given Motherwell an 11th minute lead. He was an impressive player throughout, Spencer. Motherwell played a lot of good stuff. Willie Davis will be pleased with the team performance shown by Motherwell. But in the end, he has to settle for a point, and it's a point in his first match as interim manager here at Tannadice for Dundee United's Alex Smith. That brings a smile to his face. Final score at Tannadice, Dundee United 1, Motherwell 1.
Billy, I mentioned earlier the look on your face as you went off there. It was a look that said we should have had 3 points.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that, Rob. I think we're very disappointed, especially with the type of goal that they scored. I felt that the lad could do that another 100 times when he got into the back of the net, but no, we're all disappointed.
I suppose we've said it a million times, if you're only 1-0 ahead, it's always a fragile lead, isn't it?
Yeah, especially at Tannadice, when you know the second half they're going to come down that hill and start knocking long balls in against you, and I thought we defended quite well. We had 1 or 2 chances near the end of the game, unlucky not to get that, but disappointed in the goal that we lost.
It looked to me though like a good team performance for say 86 minutes, if you put it like that.
Yeah, very happy. I mean, I thought we worked well. I thought we knocked the ball about well at times and defended excellently through the game. But as I say, it's just one of these goals that I thought the lad tried to knock it across the goal again, and it's ended up in the back of the net.
It's a really valuable goal for a side that obviously is low on confidence at the moment.
Well, after the past week, Alex came in and he's picked the boys up really well in training. He's got everything sharp and everybody got a wee buzz to the training. So we came out the day, he changed the formation, we went quite attacking. And I thought the boys done really well, especially once they scored the first goal. We came out the second half, battled and scrapped, and we managed to get a vital goal at the end.
Just 1 point from your first 3 games, but not too unhappy at the way the team's playing?
No, not at all. I mean, as I said before, said to the players there, I'm quite pleased the way things have been going. I felt the first couple of games was obviously difficult for us, but we're now starting to get 1 or 2 guys back into the team, and I thought we played some good stuff here.
So 1 each it was, and just before John and Alex tell us what really happened, let's get the opinion of Gordon Smith, who was at the game as well. What did you make of it, Gordon?
I'll tell the truth, you know. I thought actually that, to be fair, I thought Motherwell were excellent in the first half. And I think that if they'd got another goal, the game would have been over. I think Dundee United looked a bit dispirited. They weren't closing down in Motherwell at all. The man we have here tonight, John Spencer, was causing them all sorts of problems. And I think Alec Smith earned his first week's wages quite well at half-time, because he certainly got things going. He sharpened things up. They closed down a lot better in midfield. And I think just good value for getting a draw at the end because of the second half performance.
Yeah. Did you have to do a lot of hard talking at half-time, Alec? It certainly looked that way.
No, not angry talking, but talking in a way that was getting through to them in respect to what was happening. But we weren't closing them down at all. We were giving them too much space to play. And John here was being allowed to drop off us. He was coming up against us and dropping off us into an area where he could turn and come and cause damage. So we had to try and sort that out and push the game further up the park. So if he dropped off us then, he was going away too deep, and we felt for that position that we could start getting a grip of the game. And certainly moving up the park 25 yards helped that in the second half.
Yeah. And from your point of view, John, we talked about that you were desperate to get out there today and get your season started, and well, only 11 minutes to get your first goal of the season. You must be delighted.
Yeah, it was nice. I think last season I was playing a little bit deeper, and it took me to September to get my first goal. So first game of the season for me today, and it was nice to get off the mat.
Yeah. Nice ball through from Jed Brannan, I mean, and then, well, you took it very well, obviously, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. I think we see here in the clip, Jed actually just clipped the ball through. I think I'm getting quicker in my old age. But Jason DeVos actually said to me after the game that I was a lucky so-and-so, and I always get these scrappy goals. So I was quite happy with that one.
There's an element of the old Jed reading it, because you saw it coming, didn't you?
Yeah,
you knew where to make your run, didn't
it
you?
was just eye contact myself. I seen Jed had a lot of time on the ball, and I just made the run, he's clipped it over. So it was nice to get off the mark.
Yeah. From your point of view, Alec, you're obviously not happy with your central defenders there.
No, I always feel when the ball's in that area of the park that your central defenders should be keep an eye on the ball, but also keep an eye on the deeper runners. And John had spun off us and came in, and we could see his run coming from the area he ran from, and I feel defenders should drop off when that happens rather than come towards the ball. And if we'd have dropped off on his run, then we'd have been able to cancel it out. As it was, the one ball beat about a whole back 4 and 5, but particularly
Yeah, you got a bit square, really, didn't you? Which happened once or twice in that first half.
And it left Alan Coombe a bit exposed. So the second half we tried to eliminate that and make sure that if they were going to play these balls to watch, particularly John's running, and it worked better for us second half. I was disappointed with the way we lost the goal.
Yeah, but then of course you got the equaliser through Jim Patterson, and Jim in fact was absolutely honest when he talked afterwards about the goal which earned United their point.
It was a great ball across for Neely. It's just eluded everybody and I've come in at the back post, and if I'm being honest, I was just trying to header it back across the goal because Steph was coming in. Because I actually ran into the advertising boards and then the ball dipped in the back post. I didn't even see it going in.
And here it is, Alex. I mean, it was, whether he meant it or not, it was always a good header. It was always going to cause problems, wasn't it?
It was a tremendous header as far as I was concerned. And I would never admitted that it was a lucky one.
No, I think he looks like a really good prospect, the lad Patterson.
Yes.
He's got a lot to learn about being professional when you don't ever admit you didn't mean it, you know.
Never make a striker, really.
No, yeah, you always pretend, no matter how fluky a goal it is, you just pretend you wanted to do that. But it was a good ball in from Haney, I thought.
Yes,
went to back post. You couldn't fault any of the Motherwell defenders at all, I don't think. I think he's done really well to dig that out from that position.
We got a few crosses like that over in the first half, and young Jim had spoken before the game for him to come in for the left and be an extra striker and he was coming in too far in the first half. A couple of times he came beyond the penalty spot.
Sure, yeah.
And the ball dropped over the back of him and Motherwell came out the other side. So we set him to try and delay his run a little bit so that he can either go and attack the face of the goal or come to the back post, which he obviously listened to it and it worked. But
a real second from your point of view, John, wasn't it? I mean, because obviously, as Billy said, it's a game you feel you should have won.
Yeah, I think it was it 4 minutes to go. We lost the equaliser, and it does feel like a defeat. But I think me and Alec have agreed that 55 minutes of the game we were probably the better side, and Dundee United did come into it, especially in the second half. And
I think you probably feel too that you actually had the better chances to win the game, because we'll get a few examples. Alan Coombe, in fact, had 2 or 3 very good saves.
Yeah.
So over the piece, you certainly had more clear-cut chances, I think.
Yeah, I think we did. That one there was I think it was a short free kick for Jed Brannan, and I just tried to clip it over, and he just touched over the bar. But this one was a great strike for Paul Harvey. Good save from Alan Coombe. He'll be happy with that.
I thought Alan Coombe was excellent today, actually, in the game, especially the 1 or 2. That's a good save down low there, especially 1 or 2 balls that came to the edge of the box and took the pressure off just by reading the situation. Not the goal, obviously, was a little bit. He got caught out with that one. You stuck it past him, but I mean the other situations he came out and just took the pressure off, almost playing like a sweeper behind the back four.
Yeah, and from your point of view, Alec, I mean, United didn't have too many clear-cut chances. Maybe concerned that you didn't put Motherwell under enough pressure. Obviously.
No, we had one in the very first minute of the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Felt if young Stephen had opened himself up a little bit, or taken his left foot to it, or even left it, it would maybe have been a real chance for us. And then Alec had a very good chance when he just seemed to take the ball a little high. If he'd let it come down, he could even let it come beyond him, I think. But he just took it too high. If he'd just let it come down.
Looking for the really spectacular goal there.
Well, it did, but I think his technique was good enough. He took the ball just at a high position. And the second half, Stephen McConnell come on and had a couple of good efforts. With a couple of chances second half.
Yeah. Well, over the piece, Alec, I mean, you've now had a week to look at what you've got and what you're going to need to do. And United fans looking tonight are looking for you to come up with a magic answer, and I suppose there isn't one really. But what areas do you feel that that are the major ones you have to work on?
Well, I think we're going to have to work on our defensive frailties a little bit, and become a little bit more organised and get to know each other. I think we've suffered a little bit because we went from playing a 3 to 4 back to 3. We really need to settle down as to what's your best formation at the back.
What do you favour? Do you favour a 4 or do you want to try and play a 3?
It really depends on the type of player you have. Under 21 team, for instance, I'll go a 3. Normal, I would go a 4 if I have fullbacks who are quick enough to get up and down the park and give us a cover when necessary. And it really depends on the player you have. But the second half, I felt we had a lot more bite in midfield. And we need to look at maybe for somebody to come in there that can control the game, somebody that can run the show for us a little bit. And up front, we could maybe do with a proven striker. And somebody
like John Spencer.
Somebody to help and talk to the younger players, because we've two very promising young strikers in Thompson and McConaughey. And whilst Alec Matthew does his best to do it, he's not really a natural striker, he's more of a wider player.
Yeah, but no doubt you're optimistic about the job in hand, and we
Very
wish
much
you
so.
well. And his side in front at Easter Road, but was then sent off just before half-time, by which time Didier Agathe had scored twice to put Hibs 2-1 in front. Dirk Lehmann added another 2 in the second half, and Stuart Lovell a 5th to take Hibs to the top of the table with a stunning 5-1 victory. Patrizio Bilio became the second Dundee player to be red-carded near the end, and that's their third ordering off in three games. There are 3 more Premier matches to come tomorrow, and more of them in a moment.